Sir, you're charged with interference with the duties of a public servant.
Sir.
You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you, sir.
Yes, sir.
On March 28th, 2025, an officer was in the process of serving a capital murder warrant on a suspect in Harris County, Texas. While conducting a felony stop, the defendant, who was identified by his Texas ID card, pulled up on the officer's perimeter, got out of their motor vehicle, and began walking to the residence where the murder suspect was. The officer's supervisor ordered the defendant to stop and stay right there. The defendant refused and continued to ignore officers while walking towards the residence. The officer's supervisor ordered the defendant to step back multiple times and then grabbed the defendant and took him to the ground.
Him?
Yes, Your Honor.
Was he the capital murder suspect?
No, Your Honor.
I live there.
Stop.
Oh, sorry, sir.
I believe that they were in the process of serving a warrant on someone else at the residence, and that's when they came in contact with the defendant. Ordered him to stop. He refused to stop going towards the residence. Your Honor.
Did it serve the warrant? What ended up happening?
Looks like after refusing commands, there was a brief struggle where he was detained.
Was the murder suspect there?
I'm not sure, Your Honor. It does not say. I have no further facts that show if the warrant was service was complete on the warrant or not, Your Honor, or completed at the time. I just believe that they were in the process and believed him to be at the residence, and that's when this incident occurred.
Read it again, if you don't mind.
Yes, Your Honor. On March 28, 2025, the law enforcement officer and Squad 5 of the Houston Police Department's gang division served a capital murder warrant for a suspect observed inside a truck at a nearby residence. While conducting a felony stop, the defendant, who is identified by his Texas ID card, pulled up on the perimeter, got out of the vehicle, walked to the sidewalk, and began walking to the residence where the murder suspect was. The supervisor then ordered the defendant to stop and to stay right there. The defendant refused and continued ignoring officers and walking towards the residence. The supervisor ordered him to step back multiple times, but the defendant once again ignored the officers. The law enforcement officer grabbed the defendant and made him bounce and the ground.
Okay, so now, but when you first started, you said they were going to a capital murder suspect in a car.
Yes, Your Honor. That's what. So I was originally reading the summary. I'm going straight from the gems now, Your Honor. It looks like the suspect was observed inside a truck at a nearby residence.
So the suspect is not even in the residence. No.
Then they later state that the suspect, that the defendant here was walking towards the residence where the murder suspect was. I'm not sure, Your Honor. I have nothing for that.
I'm gonna find no probable cause in your case. Just be careful, man.
Sir.
When you get into a pissing match with
I understand.
who's gonna win?
They are. I understand.
No.
Yes, sir.
All right. Hand,
All right. Did that?
please.
It looks like the arrest was the following day for whatever this new thing is.
This is for the.
Well, no, the new law violation that she caught in felony
Let's
court.
hold on before, because I want her to hear everything.
Gotcha.
I mean, Sean. You're on bond for DWI with us, and you've now picked up an aggravated assault of a family. You might dismiss Drake Osby. What happened in the ag assault, please?
Yes, Your Honor. On April 1st, 2020, I should first specify that the plain witness and the defendant are exes from a prior dating relationship. On April 1st, 2025, an officer was dispatched to an address in Harris County, Texas, responsible for disturbance call. The complainant stated there was a verbal altercation when the defendant took the complainant with his cell phone. The defendant then entered the bedroom and began striking the phone with objects to break it. The complainant was able to retrieve his cell phone, at which time the defendant began to strike the complainant in the head and torso with a closed fist, causing him to fall on the ground. The complainant was able to walk away, and the defendant then grabbed a metal object and struck the complainant in the head and arm, causing 2 lacerations on his left eye and a laceration on his right eye, and multiple scratches on both arms. The defendant then jumped a fence and fled the scene. The object was a solid metal bracket, 12 to 16 inches in width, made of heavy gauge steel designed to hold 2 cylindrical metal tubes and has multiple sharp forms. The item is manufactured for law enforcement officer use as a mounting or deployment device for tire deflation.
And all this Over a phone? Mr. Drake Osby, I now have to revoke your bond in our case as well. I'm sorry, so I'm gonna set it at 5,001. You've still not made bond on the felony case, so if you do, I mean, we can talk, but John, I think he's set for when? She's set for
514, Your Honor. Yes, sir.
Okay, if you want to do, I guess, the day after then?
You look at one other thing, Judge.
Well, I think the felony is actually set for Monday. Our case before this one was caught up was when she was reset for 514.
It's up to, I'm good with whatever you want to.
I'm actually looking, I don't have any new discovery to look over because this case is so new. There weren't even any body cams for me, so I'm pretty much waiting on everything. I'll leave it where it is and I'll monitor things and see what's going on with the felony case, Judge.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you, Judge.
If he has PTSD, to deal with it, not go to a doctor at a cannabis clinic where they're going to, of course, prescribe you marijuana.
They're MDs licensed by the state of Texas. I mean, that's just
I don't know that.
Hey, Judge, so I spoke to, what's the name of the,
Texas Compassionate
yeah,
Use
Texas
Program.
Compassionate Use Program. I spoke to them. They're gonna give me, they said confirmation within 1 to 3 business days regarding whether or not the defendant in fact does have a medical marijuana card.
I have a problem allowing someone who has a DWI because of marijuana, continuing to allow them to smoke marijuana.
And let's verify first that he does have a lawful prescription through the state of
I'm going to
Texas.
tell him no smoking for now until we're able to verify something.
Okay.
No, but he has a DWI for marijuana. We're
But
going
that'd be like you telling a diabetic can't have their insulin. It's a,
no,
just because you disagree with it doesn't
that's a
mean
light
it's not.
diabetic medication. It's a life-saving information. This is not.
I mean, marijuana is too now. We don't know. I'm not a doctor. You're not a doctor. We're not researchers. But enough has happened with the legislature has approved this, and the prescription has been. If it's truly a valid prescription from the state of Texas, I think there's a problem with this, Judge.
I'm going to tell you, even if he has a valid prescription, I have a problem allowing someone to use marijuana when they're on bond for a DWI with
I
marijuana.
get that, but that's not Judge. That's not appropriate. I mean, what you're saying is, if that is a true legal medication, you're saying that you just don't agree with that medication. If it's truly a legal prescription, that's what I'm getting at. And I'm not trying to pick this
Come
fight
up,
or
sir.
anything. I just
Come up.
But I want
I want to know why there's no other way to medicate.
That's for a doctor to tell us. I don't know, Judge. I'm not
I
qualified
want
for that
to,
opinion.
I'd like to do is I'd like to talk to the doctor who prescribed it to figure out why there's no other reasonable way to medicate.
If the doctor will talk, I mean, we will, let's wait to get, first let's get the confirmation from the state of Texas that it is a true lawful prescription. I'm not trying to pick this fight with you if it's not. That's
I understand.
stupid on my part. But